Hello everybody, my name is Ali Bagley. I am a life coach, NLP practitioner, hypnosis practitioner, author and storyteller. And I'm working with my 5 amazing colleagues to bring you a series of presentations, videos, information, all to help you adapt, manage and thrive during this pandemic. My other recording today, which is going to be posted up on the group if it's not already, is about dealing with redundancy. This presentation is about dealing with relationship issues, particularly where you are stuck at home with people all of the time and that's not normal for you, and how to cope with that cabin fever, for want of a better word. Now let me share my screen. This is where the fun starts. Do that, share that, and start the slideshow. From the beginning. There it is. Right, everybody. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. This is the Coaching Summit about relationships in lockdown with me, Ali Bagley. Thank you for your time. Now, as I say, I'm a life coach, NLP and hypnosis practitioner, author and storyteller. I'm also a wife, mother of 4, grandmother of 5, soon to be 6, grandchildren. I work for myself as a coach, author and storyteller since taking redundancy earlier this year. I have always had a passion for helping others. I love to write. I'm living every day doing what I love, and I'm very, very lucky. And I have a great marriage, but even for us, lockdown has had its fair share of problems. Nobody has a perfect life, and learning to deal with our challenges is all that we can do. Now, before I carry on any further, I'd just like to introduce you to Teddy. Say hello, Teddy. Say hello to the ladies and gentlemen. He is likely to interrupt me several times during this presentation because he does like to join in. So if you see a furry thing coming in from the left, that's what it is. Okay, so let me go through some of the situations that some of my clients are going through at the moment. And obviously I have changed names for data protection, all that kind of stuff. But basically, the first one was John. His wife had left him just before lockdown, but he's struggling with the isolation that he now feels. So he's not seeing his kids anymore, he's not seeing his dog anymore, he's at home alone all of the time, he's working from home, and he has all sorts of issues communicating with his ex-wife, like selling the house, splitting the assets, child visits, dog share arrangements. At the same time, for him to have a new life now that he's single again, he wanted to get out and meet new people. But with everywhere shut and social distancing, he was feeling ever more cut off from the world and was really, really lonely. That was the situation he was in when he came to me. The second one is Jane, happily married for years. She had a really great job, but it meant that she was traveling a fair bit. She was off around the world, actually, and her husband was very much the same. So they worked long hours, they're building up savings, wanted to pay off their mortgage before starting family, and had a whole, life plan. And then COVID came along, and of course, neither Jane or her husband are now traveling for work, and indeed, they're both working full-time from a home and sharing an office in the house. So instead of just seeing each other at the weekends, really, they're together all of the time. Now, for some, that might be absolutely lovely, but it is causing an awful lot of friction between Jane and her husband. And she came to me to ask me and to try and find a solution to how she gets through this COVID, manages to do her work without properly falling out with her husband, because her husband is putting his work first. His is more important. He wants her to get out of the way, and it's just basically driving Jane mad. And here's another story. Tony and Sally, a pair of them I saw as a couple, are both working from home with 2 primary school children and a teenager. So, of course, pre-COVID, the children were at school, Tony was in the office, in town, and sometimes away from home. Sally has a part-time job. That gives her some time to do stuff around the house and have me time. They just had a lovely kind of routine that was going where everybody had their own time, their own space, their own things that they wanted to do. Now the whole family is at home all the time. The primary school is closed due to COVID infections, so the two youngest children need homeschooling, and both Tony and Sally are still working. So they're starting to argue about sharing the homeschooling, about looking after the children, the household chores, how do they divvy it up, who does what. They can't seem to come to any agreement, and now they're in a situation where not only are they all stuck in together, but there is tension in the house all of the time. So those are just three of the very up-to-date topical types of clients that I'm talking to at the moment, and the issues that they're having in their relationships because of the lockdown and isolation. Now, what do they all have in common? All of them feel isolated, even those who are living with other people, either as a couple or a family unit. You can feel isolated even when you're surrounded by people. Sometimes you need to actually break free and get out and get away from those people, and that's what's proving to be quite difficult for some people right now. Everybody's trying to adjust to new situations they haven't chosen to be in. It's not their normal routine, it's not their normal lifestyle. They don't know how long it's going to last. They don't know how to deal with it. They're all experiencing conflict in order to make sense of that new reality, because that's what happens. Have you ever heard that expression? We take it out on the people closest to us. So all of those frustrations that people are feeling, all those people are feeling stuck in, trying to adjust, trying to sort out who's responsible for what. They are getting ratty with each other and taking it out on each other. Everybody is dealing with uncertainty and an element of fear. Everybody. Show me someone who isn't, and I'll show you a liar. Nobody. The biggest fear for the human person is the fear of the unknown, and right now we are still not sure what's going to be happening with this pandemic. We are being told now that a vaccine's very near, but how soon, when, how effective it's going to be, there's so much uncertainty, and that will always make people afraid. And when we're afraid, we get defensive. When we get defensive, we get short and sharp, and we argue with people, and it doesn't make for the best of relationships. Trying to understand that, and that everybody is going through that. Give everybody a bit of space, a bit of a let off. You know, when somebody is having a go at you, it's probably not you that they're having a go at. It's the situation, the frustration, how they feel. And I think if you can step back and say, okay, I understand how you're feeling. Please don't take it out on me. I'm going through the same kind of things. Let's sit down quietly and see how we can talk about this and resolve this. How can I help you? Try and do that more than argue. I know it's difficult, but if you can, that'd be great. And all of these people, those three particular case studies, which I'm sure almost all of you can relate to one or the other of, they all have less opportunity to escape and communicate outside of the situation than they used to. So if you're used to working in a bustling office with all of your colleagues, and you're basically only seeing people now on Zoom meetings, that's a lot different. You're having the meetings, but you're losing the chit chat and the camaraderie and all of the other things that go in office working situations. If you are somebody who is at home normally, but gets out and about to meet friends, meet people, do the school runs, that kind of thing, and now you're not getting out of the house at all, again, you're going to feel that sense of being stuck. And the expression that we use for all of that is cabin fever. Cabin fever is what a lot of people are experiencing at the moment. Teddy's joining in. Hello, Ted. So being at home is a source of joy for many of us, probably most of us. I love my home. It's my haven, my safe space. I do know where everything is. Bernie hides the biscuits. That's my husband, so I can never find them. We all have our own favourite armchair. We know where everything is. Somebody I was speaking to very recently was saying that he's having to sell his house at the moment. And he's really worried about the fact that he won't know where things are when he moves. He's got really used to where everything is, and that's a great source of comfort to him. But is all that familiarity starting to drive you nuts? And are you experiencing cabin fever? Cabin fever is going to be the cause of many, many relationship issues during this lockdown period and through this pandemic. So what is it? It describes the feelings that are brought on by being isolated in a space. You don't have to be alone to be isolated, just stuck in a space over a period of time. You typically won't have any interaction with many people, if any at all. You're unlikely to get much fresh air. You're likely to not be doing things that stimulate you. And that lack of stimulation, connection, and engagement can cause high levels of stress and anxiety. So the ultimate of this is, whatever the situation, we're all getting to the point where we're stressed and anxious. And again, that makes relationships very difficult, because it is much harder to have a lovely, happy relationship with somebody if you're snapping at each other all the time because you're stressed and anxious. Cabin fever manifests itself in boredom, restlessness, too much negative self-introspection, which is very damaging for mental health, and sometimes a feeling of claustrophobia. And it comes from a bit of history. The USA, about 200 years ago, when they were all off across the country to find their gold and their new ways of living and stake claims on land. And very often through the winter, people would hole up in makeshift cabins and never see anybody for months and months and months. And cabin fever was the expression born to describe the impact on them as a result of that isolation. And as I said, there are many mental health challenges that you might experience as a result of cabin fever that can have a negative impact on relationships. So mental health challenges that impact on relationships, particularly in relation to cabin fever. You could have problems with sleeping because you're stressed, issues with concentration because you're having problems sleeping, not getting enough exercise because, in some cases we're told we can't go out and exercise. And if you are high risk, you might not want to go out and risk seeing other people. Being tired during the day, not just because you haven't slept, but because stress and anxiety will make you tired. You can lose your motivation. Why bother? What's it all for? Is it worth it? That can be an issue. You can get angry at your situation, angry at other people. All sorts of anger issues can come up, resulting in arguments with loved ones and increased stress and anxiety. So many, many mental health challenges. My dog really, really helps me usually with my mental health challenges. Today, not so much, Teddy. Today, not so much. Okay, so let's go through 10 survival tips for cabin fever that will help you to have better relationships with the people that you're living with through this pandemic and lockdown period. Number 1. If at all possible, go outside. Get in the fresh air away from the house at least once a day. Walk, ride a bike, go for a run. I'm not going to be running anywhere, but yeah, anything to get out of the cabin. Even if you're lucky enough to have a garden, get out into the garden. Breathe in some fresh air. Walk away from that enclosed space. Get some exercise if you can outdoors, because that's going to be great for your mental health and well-being as well as your physical fitness and wellness. Number 2, find things to do. So you could start a new hobby. Maybe you've got a bit more time on your hands now. You're not doing the commute anymore. And of course, again, if you've got children in the house, starting a hobby and involving them is going to help solve their boredom as well. So many things you can do cheaply and easily at home that might even make you a few pennies. As a creative, you might be able to make things that you can sell for Christmas presents and birthday presents. Places like Not on the High Street are looking for small creatives all the time. You can build your own website very cheaply now to advertise what you have made or what you do. So you can start a new hobby. Things like cooking and baking. Obviously, we don't want to be eating more. Hands up if you've eaten slightly more during the lockdown period. But how about trying new recipes or healthy recipes to stick to a weight loss diet? What about baking for elderly people near you that you know who are on their own and don't have anybody that can help them? Or maybe batch cooking. I think Mrs. Hinch, is it, that does batch cooking that helps? There's a website she has. Then if you've batch cooked, then instead of cooking meals every day, you will have more time to do other things. Maybe it's time to clear out the cupboards. Have a refresh, declutter your home. Goodbye, Ted. Oops, that was fun. Nearly took my head off. Yes, so cleaning out the cupboards. Time to declutter your home, move the furniture around, make it feel fresh and different. Time to do that. Or even the big stuff, decorate, DIY time, paint, paper, reorganize. Many, many things you can do. I wouldn't suggest getting a dog right now. Unless you really want to get a dog. And of course, remember, they're not just for Christmas, they're for life. And sometimes they can be in the way when you're trying to work. So sorry about that. He'll be back in a minute. Okay, survival tip number 3, journaling. Journaling is an excellent way to get your thoughts and your frustrations and your anger and your upset out of your system and out of your mind. Particularly just before you go to sleep at night. If you're one of those people who's waking up in the middle of the night worried about the COVID situation, about possibly the risk of losing your job, how you're going to make ends meet, relationship issues you're having within your family, if you write things down before you go to sleep at night, things that you're worried about, it might help you to stop worrying about them during the night because you've written them down and they're out and out of the way. Now, in the Facebook group, I have put a link for you to be able to go and get a journal. There's 2 months worth of pages in there to take you up to the end of January, that you can write your daily mantras. So things like, I will be kind today, I will be happy today, I will smile at others, I am confident, I am strong, I am happy, I am loved. That kind of mantra that you repeat every morning, every evening. And each page then you can write about your day. Not a to-do list, more what have I learned? What do I believe? What's happened that's been great? That kind of thing. So journaling, really, really helpful for your mental health again, especially during these times when we're locked in. Number 4, take care of yourself. This is so obvious, but we let that slip sometimes. There's a big joke about how you're sat on Zoom, so why bother to put your makeup on? You can be sat in shorts or your PJs from the lower half down because no one's going to see it. No, don't do that. Put your makeup on, brush your hair. Boys, if you wear makeup, you can as well, but you know what I mean. Brush your hair. Put your shirt and your suit on. Dress as you would dress as if you're going to work, if you're going to be in work Zoom meetings. Take that care just the same. Make it a daily routine that you get up out of bed by a certain time. If you used to get up at 7 o'clock to do the commute to get to work, and you got into work for 9 o'clock, but now your commute is literally from the bedroom to the computer screen, still get up at 7 o'clock. But in that hour, exercise. Get out and go and have a walk if you can. Write some stuff in your journal about what you're going to be doing that day and the difference you're going to make in people's lives. Have a shower, do your hair, put your makeup on, do your nails, dress in clean clothes. Get that daily routine in place. Excuse me, sorry, I've got there is a hair there, that in place so that you feel better about yourself. If you feel better about yourself, you're going to feel better generally. If you feel better generally, you're going to be less angry, less uptight, less arguments, better relationships with the people around you. We cannot control what's happening in the pandemic. We can't stop it. We can control what we do and our part in helping to slow it down by staying home and keeping ourselves and others safe. That's what we can control. We control our own self-respect. We control our routines whilst we're at home. Keep that control. Keeping control of things will also help you to feel better about yourself and maintain your self-respect and your mental health. Taking care of yourself gives you control over your life and your actions to help you maintain your self-esteem and stay motivated. Tip 5. Help others whenever you can. There is wonder in being able to help others. You may have family and friends either living with you nearby or at least near enough for you to call on them if you need help. Get help for yourself. This is a key point as well. Many people aren't fortunate enough to have family and friends nearby to help them out, to call on when they need to, and they find themselves very much alone in isolation. Do you know any of those people? Can you help them out? Can you visit them? Can you go and see them? Can you give them a phone call? Of course you can. If you know someone who's alone, call them occasionally. Just check if they're okay. Have a conversation with them. Your voice might be the only one that they hear that day. Can you imagine how powerful that is and how important that is to somebody who's all alone? The only other thing they might hear is the telly or the radio. Personal contact is an absolute must for human beings. So if you do know anyone who's isolated and alone, give them a call. It is so much better. We feel amazing when somebody checks up on us. So do that for other people. We've got so much technology to do it today. We've got this Zoom. I mean, a year ago, I wouldn't have ever thought about doing a presentation like this, ever. But we have Zoom. We can get lots of people all together on Zoom and have quizzes and parties. I know on Christmas Day, I will be setting up my screen that I have in front of me now, and I will be Zooming with our family, and we will all be having Christmas dinner together. I mean, literally all of us. That's lots and lots of kids and everything else. So it's a wonderful tool for that. You may even see more of your family and friends when you start calling than you have for ages. That's certainly happened to me, for sure. And there are also lots of friendship groups and clubs online. So if you're isolated again, you could let people know about those. There's something, I think it's Help the Aged, have a making friends group. Along again with this presentation that there are links to various places where you can find help. And that sheet has been reproduced with those links for you to download from the Facebook group. Okay, make space for each other. Now, if you're all on top of each other all the time, you've not been used to that. It's a new way of living. You're finding it difficult to adapt to, getting frustrated, uptight, you feel claustrophobic, that cabin fever is coming in again. Remember, everyone else is going to feel like that as well. So if it's possible, try and give everybody a room in the house so they've got their own space they can get away to. Now, I know in a lot of cases that isn't possible. Awful lot of children share bedrooms. Young teenagers, young people share bedrooms, so they can't get away and have their own space. But maybe you could have some kind of a rota whereby if you've got two teenage boys who are sharing a bedroom, one of them can have it for so many hours and the other one for another so many hours. And the time that they haven't got the private space in the bedroom, they'll have to be communal in the living room. That negotiation amongst the family to try and give everybody some kind of alone time if they want it, some space, some privacy, that's going to be very, very useful. And be honest about what you need. don't forever be trying to please everybody else, because that's going to make you grumpy as well, and resentful and uptight, and make you angry, and then you snap, and we're back in that situation again. If you need some space, say you need some space. Even if you lock yourself in the bathroom with a book. Of course, if the toilet is in the bathroom, as it is in my house, that's not very practical, because if you're in there for a couple of hours with a book, and let's say, you know, I had a husband and small children here at home, then that would not be much fun for them, because they'd have to find alternate peeing arrangements. But you know what I mean? Find somewhere where you can go on your own, and say if you need to do that. Distraction tactics. Now, all of these tips are to help you to get in a better place mentally and physically, to adapt, manage and thrive through this pandemic, so that you can maintain better relationships with the people that you are locked down and in isolation with. So distracting yourself from what's going on is a really good way of doing it. Read a book, listen to music, headphones in shared spaces, dance. I have a friend, one of the other coaches on this course, and she won't mind me telling you now, Aisha is one of the funniest people I have ever met in my life. She's hilarious, and her take on positivity, you have to look out for whichever day that is on. She will dance, she will sing, she has posted film and videos of her in various dress-up costumes, all sorts, but she makes everybody else so happy when she does that. It's brilliant stuff. Catch her, look out for her if you can. But do it, just have a laugh, do it. I love when I'm doing my my storytelling in my comfort corner with Ali Facebook group, and I record stories for young children to sit and watch with their parents. And I love that. That's a distraction for me. Meditation, if you can do it, if you can get some peace and quiet, fabulous. And as I say, have a relaxing bath, but bear in mind other people need the toilet if that's the situation in your house, like it is in mine. Get into mindfulness, tip number 8. Mindfulness is a wonderful thing. I started doing mindfulness a few years ago at work. We had a Mindfulness Wednesday, where somebody who was qualified in mindfulness ran a session, and we just all dialed into that session through Skype. And we just sat for half an hour with our eyes closed, just living in the moment, being calm, being focused, just thinking about what we could see and hear and feel at that time, stopping thinking about the daily churn and the grind and what we've got to do next and everything else. And I tell you, to do that at lunchtime set you up brilliantly for the afternoon and calmed you down. It has proven benefits in keeping stress and anxiety at bay. And if you can do it every day, even just for a few minutes, it's marvelous. So let me take you through a very short session on mindfulness, and this again you can take away. I will put this out for you on the group so you can do this for yourself. Sit or lie comfortably somewhere warm and preferably quiet and not too well lit, so a bit dim, dark. If you've got candles going, absolutely marvelous. You can do this now if you want to. Do this with me. Close your eyes and take several slow, deep breaths in and out. And as you breathe, relax your body bit by bit, starting with your head and moving gradually all the way down to your toes. So with your eyes closed, breathe in, breathe out. Be aware only of your breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. As thoughts come into your head, let them pass by as if they were floating past on a river. Notice them, but don't take them too deeply into your mind. Let them go. Just focus on your breathing, nice and steady and relaxed. And when you feel that your head's relaxed, your jaw is loosened, You feel the relaxation through your shoulders, down through your arms into your hands. As you breathe deeply and let that breath go, you feel the tension going from your chest and your back, all the way down through your belly, down through your hips, through your legs, your knees, and all the way down your calves into your feet. Keep breathing, keep relaxing, and think about your happy place. Somewhere and sometime where you have memories that make you smile, or concentrate on something that you can look forward to. Whatever you're thinking about right now, you should have a smile on your face. You should be thinking about the joy in that memory, the joy you will experience in the thing that you're looking forward to. Just hold on to that one thought and let the other thoughts pass you by. Concentrate quietly on these happy thoughts for a while. Just breathing in and out, in and out. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and come back to now. And gently shake out and carry on with your day. Just for a few minutes. Hopefully, if you've done that with me, you feel a bit better. But that stage where you're thinking about your happy place, you can hold on to that for as long as you like. Just breathing deeply and relaxing. Mindfulness, wonderful for feeling better about the world. Exercise, tip number 9, every single tip for healthy living and mental good health is going to involve physical exercise. Physical exercise is proven to make you feel better about yourself and release those happiness endorphins. Do it at your own pace and limitations. Do not decide after years of sitting in a chair to go and do a jog for 5K. It's going to probably kill you. Gently build up. Know your limitations. If it gets too much, stop. Do a little less. Keep trying. And exercise together for fun. Get the kids, the partner, everybody who's in the house. Get them all on it. Joe Wicks, so successful through the first lockdown for families exercising together. What a wonderful initiative that was. But we have all got DVDs and things that we can access online to exercise to on the TV with all the kids in the living room. So that'd be great fun. If you can get outside, play ball games with the kids. Take the dog for a long walk by the canal. That's our favourite thing to do for sure. And if you follow me on Facebook, you will see a lot of pictures of Teddy and us out on the canal having a walk. Any exercise that gets you out of the house, gets your blood pumping, is going to make you feel better and more able to deal with any tensions and challenges that you face whilst you're in lockdown. And the last tip, number 10, get help if you need it. I'm really serious about this. If you've tried distraction, you've tried keeping busy, you've tried negotiation for space, you've tried meditation, you've tried exercise, you've tried a new project or hobby, all of the things that we've talked about to help relieve the tensions in your relationships, the way you feel generally, and you still feel trapped, isolated, unhappy, ready to scream, then reach out for help. Not to the people that you live with. They're all going through the same thing. Don't put that pressure on them. There are organisations out there that can help you with your mental health and relationship issues. And I will show you some links in a minute to those, and you can download those and get in touch. There are also coaches like me and my colleagues who are doing this summit, who are there to help you when you need us. Yes, you have to pay for that, but I would say it's worth it. Coaching saved my life for sure when I finally got the help I needed from a coach, and that's the honest truth. Turned my life around, made me see things from a completely different perspective. I learned to love myself again. I learned to appreciate everything that was great about me, and it has not just helped me to feel better about myself. my whole relationships with everybody, my life, what I do now, all totally different as a result. So come to any of us if you want to talk about what help we can offer you. If it's really, really bad, get to your GP, because you may need more intervention if you're having really bad depression and anxiety issues. But ask for help, even if it's just chatting with a friend. So you can get help from Age UK's friendship centres, as I mentioned before, if you're feeling lonely and isolated. Calm is United Against Suicide site. Go there if it's really, really, really bad. But again, you should be seeing your GP. Mind is the mental health charity. Well worth a look at what they can do for you. Relate family counselling and marriage guidance if you need professional help with that. Citizens Advice Bureau for basically anything you need advice on. And the Samaritans if you need somebody to talk to and you're feeling really, really low about things. There are plenty of people out there, plenty of organisations out there, plenty of professionals out there. Nobody needs to be alone through this pandemic. Nobody needs to be alone through this pandemic. Call, speak to somebody, ask a friend. Just don't be alone. And if you like to talk, you may join me today at 1 p.m. or 7 p.m. for a live Zoom event to answer questions on anything you've seen during this presentation or the other presentation on dealing with redundancy during the pandemic. It'll be that combined. So the links are there. They will also be posted on the Facebook group so that you can join those live chatting events on Zoom later on today. Oh, missed the page, went a bit quick. Everything was going far too well then, wasn't it? Lockdown and social distancing will not be forever. It won't be forever. We will be back to a normal again soon. We will be able to hug soon. We will be able to get out and about from our homes and not be locked down anymore. Stay strong. Be kind. Support one another. Remember that no matter how angry, uptight and upset that you feel, probably the people living with you are feeling very similar too. So just share how you're feeling and talk about it. And talk to somebody else if you're finding it difficult to talk to each other. I am Ali Bagley from alibagleycoaching.co.uk. Thank you for your time today, and hopefully I will see you later. Thank you for that. Bye now.